Hi YouTube. So this is Tiffany again, and I said on my last video that I wanted to talk about the dietitian consultation that I had after my visit. So right after my initial bariatric consultation with my surgeon, they sent me directly over to the dietitian to go over what my insurance requires in order to get approved for the surgery, for my insurance to cover it, and all of that kind of stuff. And since my first video was already really long, I didn't want to go over all that information in that same video, so I decided to do a second video. So I'm not going to go over my stats just because, my stats are in the first video, but I'm not really currently trying to lose weight or have had the surgery yet or anything like that. This is just for information purposes at this point in time. So I will say that I am planning on having my surgery with Baycare Health System weight loss surgery in Tampa, Florida, and my surgeon is Dr. Hall. So this is kind of the process if you are planning on going through Baycare or anything like that. This might be a good video for you so you can kind of see what the process would be. So, like I said, directly after my initial consultation with Dr. Hall, they sent me right over in the same building. It was just like a different entrance to speak with the dietitian. That appointment, it wasn't really an appointment. It was just like the initial consultation. She just kind of went over basically what I'm going to need in the process that I'm going to be going through, as well as setting up an actual appointment with her. So yeah, let me start with that. The first thing that was a little bit frustrating for me, because in my first video I said I actually have a wedding in February, so I'm really trying to get the process done as quickly as possible. My insurance requires 3 months of a supervised weight loss with a registered dietitian. So at the very minimum, I'm going to have to at least take 3 months, 90 days for this process. But then you have to get an insurance approval, and then you have to get availability when the surgeon's available. So I'm looking at probably 4 to 5 months, I would guess. So trying to, again, get this done as soon as possible. So when I went and met with her, I thought that this was going to be my first visit. So it would be 90 days from that visit, which was, my visit was on Monday the 19th. However, that is not the case. So that was just the initial consultation. It wasn't considered a visit. And she didn't have any visits available until July. So my actual first visit with her is not going to be until July 13th. So already I have to wait another month before my 90 days even starts, basically, for the insurance, which it is what it is. I kind of believe that everything happens for a reason, but it still kind of stinks. But again, it is what it is. So July 13th is my first visit with her. Okay, so the stuff that she went over with me is it's combination of things, what my what my surgeon requires in order to do the surgery, as well as what my insurance requires. So my doctor, again, I'm planning on getting the sleeve gastrectomy, and my doctor requires me to get a barium swallow, cardiac clearance, 2-week pre-surgery low-calorie protein-sparing diet. So that's the pre-op low-calorie protein-sparing diet that I'm going to be on. And I also have some information on that, some like supplements and vitamins and like protein powders and stuff that I have to have before the pre-op time. I also need a nutrition and behavioral change counseling and a fitness consultation, a psychological evaluation, and primary care physician clearance. So that is what Dr. Hall, my surgeon, requires me to have before I can have surgery. So, which is fine, because obviously my insurance requires me to wait 90 days anyways, so that, during that time I can get this stuff done. The barium, swallow, and cardiac clearance I'm going to have to get done through, like, a different doctor, like a cardiologist I'm going to have to go see. In the barium, swallow, I can get done through Baycare, but they do it as like a procedure, so I have to find an office that can do that. So that's that. And then the nutrition and behavioral change counseling, that is the counseling that I'm going to be doing with a registered dietitian anyway. So I have to do that for my insurance company anyways. My doctor also requires it. So my doctor only requires 1 to 2 visits. My surgeon requires 1 to 2 visits with a registered dietitian. My insurance requires at least 3. So that's that. And then the fitness consultation and psychological evaluation, with Baycare, they do it all together in one visit. So one of my visits, not my first visit on the 13th, but the next visit after that, which is August 7th, I'm going to have a visit that's going to be like 4 hours long. So it's like from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on August 7th. And that is I'm going to be meeting with the dietitian. I'm going to be meeting with the psychiatrist. Yeah, I'm going to have a psychological evaluation and a fitness consultation all in one visit. So that's why it's like 4 hours long. So yeah, all that's going to be done through Baycare. And then the primary care physician clearance, I just have to go to my PCP and get a clearance from him, which I don't see as being an issue because my PCP is the one who actually referred me to the surgery center. Okay, so then the next thing that we went over is some of my out-of-pocket costs. Obviously, with my insurance, there's going to be, more out-of-pocket costs because I think my insurance covers like 70% or 80% of my visit. So with each visit, I'm going to have like a certain percent that I'm going to have to pay and stuff like that. So I don't know what those are going to be yet. Once I start getting bills in the mail, I'll let you know. But she did go over some things that she knew right away that it was going to be something that was out of pocket, which I appreciate. So on my consultation where I have that 4-hour consultation where I have to meet with the psychiatrist and the fitness consultation and the dietitian, all that stuff, that is going to be $265. Ugh. So, yeah, that has to be paid before my visit on August 7th. So, yeah, I already had to, in order to make the appointment, I had to put a down payment of $100. So at that visit, I owe $165. So that's that. Not exactly cheap. So kind of be prepared for that. Again, this is through Baycare. If you're going with somebody, a different doctor's office or different surgical center and stuff, what your responsibility is could be different. So the other thing was the supplement order form. I actually have it here. So basically, they have specific protein powders that they want you to use. Unjury is the brand, which I've actually seen on other YouTubers that they use Unjury and they like it. So I was actually kind of happy about the fact that they recommend Unjury as well. So they have a list here of the different kind of flavors and stuff, and she says that I have to have this before I get to my pre-op portion. And then also some supplements, some vitamins. So calcium citrate, a bypass/sleeve optimized multi-chewable, and a bypass/sleeve optimized multi-capsule. So these are like the different options for supplements. So she gave me a price of $170 for that. So she told me that I can purchase them like on Amazon or something else as long as I have them, or I can purchase it through them. So that is the other out-of-pocket. And then she gave me a checklist of the different places that I can go to get the different things that I need through Baycare. So if I wanted to use one of their doctors, they gave me some information on who I can contact for the barium swallow, and the cardiac clearance. And yeah, that was pretty much it for that. So with my insurance company, like I was saying, they require me to have 90 days of a supervised weight loss or registered dietitian supervised program. So what I did and what I would highly recommend, again, if you're going through Baycare, this is my, my experience, but if not, it might be the same thing. You might want to ask. Anyway, so of course, when I went to go make my first appointment with her, I found out right off the bat that she gets pretty booked up pretty quickly. So she was already at, like, I think I said the first visit was July 13th, and it was almost a month after my initial visit. So my visit was on the 19th, and her first available appointment was July 13th. So almost a month out. So what I went ahead and did is I went ahead and scheduled all of my visits with her ahead of time. I was like, can I just go ahead and get on the schedule so I can be ready and have my visits, scheduled and ready to go? Because I didn't want to run into, okay, it's July 13th, I have my first visit. Now let me schedule my second visit. And she's like, well, I'm booked for the next 2 months, or, something like that. So then that would just keep pushing my date back, pushing my date back, pushing my date back. So I didn't want to do that. So if you can do that, I would recommend you asking and seeing if you can go ahead and schedule all of your visits, so then you don't have to worry about their schedule getting booked up and you not being able to get in. So that's what I did, and that worked out. So I have all my visits. I have to have 4 visits with her, because how the 90 days works out, it ends up being 4 visits, because obviously you have the first visit, the initial visit that happens. And then it's 30 days from that, so that would be the second, and then 30 days from that would be the third, but you're still only at 60 days at that point in time. So then 30 days from that would be the 4th visit. So now you're at 90 days. So my last visit with her is October 12th. That's going to be a big day for me, because October 12th means that as long as I've done my part and did my barium swallow and got my cardiac clearance and my form for my PCP saying that I can have the surgery, my clearance for my PCP, that means on October 12th I'll have everything that I need and my information can be submitted to my insurance company for approval. So then it would just be a matter of waiting on approval, waiting to hear back from my insurance company to say that they approved it. Hopefully I don't get a denial. And then after that, getting with my surgeon to schedule the surgery. So I'm hoping if October 12th is when I have to send it to get approval. From what I've heard from other people, it takes an average of about 30 days, usually no more than 30 days to get approval from your insurance company. Some have said they had gotten it back in a week, some said, a couple weeks, but from what I've heard, nobody really has had it take longer than a month. So if it doesn't come back until, let's say, November 12th, the latest, then I'm probably looking at a surgery date, probably end of November, beginning of December. So that would be okay. I'm excited. I really want to start my journey, I guess. I've just had so many years of struggling with my weight and being unhappy and having ups and downs, and I just feel like this is I'm ready. I'm ready. This is my final. I just feel like this is going to be the final time that I'm going to have to go through that struggle. I know it's not going to be easy. I know this is not here's a magic pill, you're never going to have issues with your weight again. I know I'm still going to have to work at it, but I feel like this is going to be a great tool that is going to help me. So I'm really excited about that, and I can't wait. I can't wait for my surgery date. So yeah, side note. I know this is already 14 minutes long, but try to make this quick. So here's the thing. I am at a BMI of a 42. My insurance company requires me to be at a 40 or above. So during this 90-day process with a registered dietitian monitoring and all that stuff, I have to remain above a 40 BMI. But at the same time, she said that it does look good for the insurance company to see that you're trying and that you're losing weight. Because, I mean, let's be real. I could gain weight in that 90 days with no problem. Like, I can stay above a 40 BMI. That's not the issue. But the issue is that sounds horrible. Like, I don't want to stay above a 40 BMI. But anyways, the issue is I don't have an in-between. To be completely honest, I have never figured out how to, like, I'm either like full force, I am like dropping weight pretty quickly because I'm always working out and I'm always, I'm really strict with my eating and stuff like that, or I'm gaining. Like, there is no in between. I don't maintain. I'm either losing or gaining. So I'm really nervous about how this 90 days is going to go. Am I going to be able to, because I have to find this like happy medium. I have to kind of lose a little bit of weight, but not lose too much weight. So I have to lose a little bit to kind of make it look good to the insurance company. Like, hey, I'm serious. But yeah, I can't lose too much because if I fall below a 40 BMI, and just to kind of put it to perspective, I did the numbers. And currently I weigh 220 pounds and I'm 5'1", so my BMI is a 42. In order to remain at a 40 BMI or higher, I have to remain at 212 pounds or higher. So that means that I have an 8-pound window, I guess you can say, to go for, like I can lose like around, 8 pounds. I can't gain, go over 220, and I can't lose I can't lose more than 8 pounds. So to me, that's kind of stressful. It's kind of stressing me out because that is hard for me. Like, 90 days is a long time, and like I said, I'm either losing quite a bit or I'm gaining quite a bit. Like, I've never really been able to find a happy medium. So if you guys have any suggestions on what I could do, or I don't know, just maybe some encouragement or something, would be more than willing to hear it. Yeah, so I guess we're just going to see how this prep. It was great talking to you guys. Well, I guess kind of myself. It's not like really anybody. I don't have any subscribers or anything. So it was great talking to my diary, my YouTube diary. I don't know how many videos I'm going to be posting here in this process. Like, as I go to my dietitian visits and all that stuff, I will post to give information on that, because again, that's kind of the information that I was looking for, and I didn't get a lot of that information from others. So